Hello and welcome to Still Uncaptured with me, Kgomotso Matsunyane.
And myself, Ndumiso Ngcobo iqadi.
We love hearing from you and interacting with you. So please catch us on the socials, on Twitter, on X, and no, Twitter is X. We just still insist on calling it Twitter. On Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, my handle is @motsomatsu.
On Twitter and on TikTok, I am @Ndumiso Ngcobo, and on Facebook, I am Ndumiso iqadi Ngcobo.
Exciting news, Mapoloba, because we get to meet you. There, our audience, you get to meet us live on the 25th of October at 1:30 at Victoria Yards. Your pre-sale tickets are on sale right now at 150 rands, and at the door, the tickets will be 200 rands. We want to talk to you.
And we are going to be, can we just tell them exactly what it is that we'll be doing on the 25th?
We're going to have an official original family meeting.
Before it was stolen from us.
By Ramaphosa and his people. But we were the originators of the family meeting.
And of course, the family meeting, if you're one of our new followers of this particular show, Still Uncaptured, is one that we started about 8 years ago. And the idea is very simple. We have a topic, we have a discussion of sorts, where we are all inward looking, where we share, we bare our souls to each other. It could be something absolutely lighthearted. It could be something serious. It could be anything where we sit and we talk, we have a good conversation, and you get to participate. Yeah. And we will tell you all about how it is that if you want to participate, you can get in touch with us.
Without a doubt. What are you grateful for today?
One of the things, one of the previous episodes, you talked about being grateful that you had gone to a funeral.
Right.
And I remember our friend Bev Ditsi, who had lost her sister. And on that particular day, you had actually cried. And you came back, and I was a bit taken aback until I heard you, explain to yourself the value of crying, particularly when you are not used to crying, unlike certain people.
Crying is good, but
crying is good. But you know what's even better than crying?
What?
Laughter, man.
Ooh,
do you
the best medicine.
Do you understand? I recently had to hold someone's hand who was in such a bad space, in such a funk. And we had a conversation on the phone that lasted, I would estimate, probably about 35, 40 minutes. And towards the end of the conversation, and they were in a really, really bad space, and they were just saying to me, so this is going on in my life. And I remember I said something towards the end, and she laughed and laughed and laughed. And you know what she said to me? She said, "Thank you so much. It has been weeks since I last laughed. I have even forgotten what I sound like when I laugh."
Wow.
And I am so grateful that with everything that goes on in my life, now and then, and for me, laughter is like such a huge, big part of my life.
Right.
I was raised, not directly, I was raised by my father and my mother in the same house. But my grandmother was a very big part, my maternal grandmother, Margaret Gwala Kinloch. And she, one of the things that I remember about that she taught me, and I remember that I dedicated my very first published work, my first book, to her because, and I even quoted her, and she always used to say, "Vanwami, ukuhleka kufana kuyaphilisa." Laughing. Do you understand what it's like to laugh? Because you can go now to so many places, and I'm not even talking about psychiatric hospitals and so on. There are spaces where people have not laughed
I know.
for months.
Right.
And when you still have that gift of laughter,
Right.
and for me, sometimes when I'm not feeling so well and I have to write a humor column, because I write a humor column, barred at large, in the Sunday Times,
Right.
and I have to write a humor column, and sometimes I'm not feeling like laughing and whatever. And for me, one of the things that I'm so grateful for is when I get those emails from my readers that said, "Oh, I was in such a bad space and I read your column and I was dead with laughter."
Right.
So I'm grateful for the fact that I hardly a day ever goes by without me laughing at something. My house is filled with laughter.
That's
we laugh
beautiful.
all the time. I
That's
love
beautiful.
laughing. Yeah.
I had a laugh with my mom this morning, by the way. She says hi.
As usual.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. How's that?
But laughter is so important. You remind me of my aunt, my mother's eldest sister.
Yeah.
Mita Mpelegeng, Neremita Stoki. Her name was Aunt Stoki, Mamkhulu Stoki. Mamkhulu Stoki was the funniest human being ever.
Yeah.
You know, had we grown up in a different time, in a different country, that woman could have been a comedian. She was hilarious. Una guarana, her acerbic sense of humor. She was incredible. And not everybody can make people laugh. Do you know that?
Yeah.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
To be funny.
To be funny. To just like organically be funny.
Remember our ex-boss was so unfunny. And now you have to. There's nothing worse than having to laugh at somebody's shitty joke. Fuck. Oh.
How did you manage to snatch
Whatever.
that face from such a happy moment of laughter? But at least you made me laugh. No, but I mean, seriously, laughter is I mean, I grew up like reading, the Reader's Digest.
Yeah.
Laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah.
And this is what my grandmother used to say to me.
Right.
And also my grandmother, she would have killed. Sometimes when I watch the one comedian who reminds me so much of my grandmother, Wanda Sykes.
Right.
She had that cynical sense of humor.
Right.
And also mean sometimes. But you would laugh your ass off.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No, completely.
Yeah.
I would love
What are you
that.
grateful for?
I thought about this a lot. I'm like, But I think yes, because we take it for granted in this country. And there's such a crisis around it. But for some reason, in my part of the suburb that I live on with my mom, okay, good location, water never runs out. When they make announcements, we're going to stop water, there's going to be water supply issues and all that.
Never.
So we fill the bath, we get buckets, we get ready for the rapture, so to speak. And it's never affected us. Knock.
Ooh.
And because I know I was talking to someone who is living in the Auckland Park, Melville area, and they hadn't been without water for 2 days. 2 days.
Can I tell you something about where I come from? My mother's house. In the village of Guamnamata in Bothers Hill, next to Hillcrest there, in KZN. My folks moved out there because I was already, an adult. It was 1997, but I mean, it's now home for me as well. They moved there December 1996. When I say to you, in that time, that's almost 30 years, right? In that entire time, the number of days that we've had water in the house for 24 hours, as in during the day, I don't think it will make 30 days. I don't think so. Every single day, by 6 o'clock, you need to know that there's no water. And by sort of 8, 9 in the evening, then there's water. We live by the bucket system. There is just like containers of water, Jojo tanks, and what have you, because there is never a continuous supply of water. So to have continuous supply of water is something to be absolutely grateful for.
To have
in
a
this
continuous
country.
supply of clean
Clean water.
Because as we know, it's a disaster. I don't know how many millions missing. Apparently, that has been found, which doesn't surprise us because obviously this money was allocated by the Treasury to go do a particular job and to provide particular services. So when those services, and because water is one of those basic rights, food should be a basic human right.
It's
because
not.
you don't have an option.
Yeah.
But to understand, which is why these evil people here bottle water and sell it back to us because it's become such a commodity that, and like I said, we take it for granted. But so if you have running water, a running tap in your household, first of all, that indicates a particular. We used to call them LSMs. I don't know what, like a living standard measurement.
Yeah.
You are of a certain.
I think it's an SEM now. Yeah.
SEM, right? Where the poorest of the poor people, and I'm constantly shocked when I see this on TV in South Africa, are still carrying water from long distances. And I suppose it galls me more because as a feminist, that job is a woman's job. Uguteza, namanzi, the two basics and things that they will never get paid for.
I am so obsessed and I've got such an irrational fear of running out of water that, believe it or not, in my car as I speak, I never leave. I never go anywhere without a 5-liter tub of water. I don't know how to.
You are weird like that. You are wapuza amanzi Ndumiso.
No, I do.
You drink water.
I obsess about one day waking up and finding that I cannot. Agnaman. Have you ever been really thirsty? Like really, really thirsty, as in there is no drop of water anywhere and you are thirsty.
I don't think I've really like proper thirsty. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's like you're in the car, there's still 30 minutes before you stop or whatever, but it's not like I'm parched, there's no water.
I have been so thirsty in my life where I could feel the dryness, like in my head. I felt like there was.
Wow.
I could. It was one of the worst experiences of my life.
Yeah.
And when you and I were talking about, we've had these conversations about, how would you like to die, and what is the type of death you would hate to actually experience. Well, I was not having that conversation with you. I think I was having it with my children. But in any case, and we were just talking about that. And I said to them, I would hate to die from dehydration of just not having water, which makes me just want to
because you panic. It was like a panic attack.
So I get your gratitude.
I wonder if there's a word for it for somebody who's afraid of.
Of course there is.
There must be. Hey?
Of course there is. Yeah, on our socials, on TikTok, send us a message and just let us know what that is. The fear of running out of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be some hydro something, whatever it was.
But my fear is weirder, a little weird.
What is it?
I'm terrified.
Of what?
Of running out of toilet paper. I am obsessed. I buy it like in bulk, so I'm a toilet paper. I'm I want to see it, and it has to be like a lot. I want to see a lot. I don't know if I've ever had the experience. I don't know where it comes from. I just know that I am terrified of running out of toilet paper.
Have you ever been in a public loo and you didn't check before?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
It reminds me of that episode in Seinfeld where Elaine is stuck in a toilet and she's asking the woman
from next door. Yep.
Yo, no, it's one of the. I in this very mall about 15 years ago, I walked into a stall and I discovered that there was no toilet paper. All I can tell you is
do I want to hear the rest of the story?
Yes, you do. I remember there was it was actually at the Zone. There was still a Primi Piatti over there. All I can tell you is that I went back to Primi Piatti and that I was very clean, but the boxers that I was wearing were no longer with me. So anyway,
the boxers are no longer with us. Because what were you supposed to do?
Something happened to
What were you supposed to do? That's why I get it that some cultures use the bidet, the
Yeah.
water thing, even if it's a bucket there or like a jug of water.
And whether you've got like white people tendencies like that, in the sense that you don't use the vaslab, or because there are many vaslabs that have ended up in the bin because there was no toilet paper somewhere. But what I can tell you is wet cloth. Oh, it's the way to go, man.
Wet cloth.
Wet cloth. Oh, it's the way to go.
Of course. How come I never thought of that? Let me take notes.
Anyway, that is gratitude.
Yes.
What do we have in store today?
We want to talk a bit about sleep, which
Right.
we are obsessed about and we
Right.
talk about ever so often. And then we're going to have a fantastic conversation about your favorite toy as a child.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about our first part-time jobs. That's what
Yeah,
we're talking about
okay,
today.
all right.
So how did you sleep as a child?
As a child, I really generally slept like when people say slept like a baby.
Yep.
I really did sleep like a baby, and I don't mean like a baby because a baby sleeps 2 hours, wakes up, and screams.
Why did I say that? I mean, really.
But anyway, I really used to. I remember. I don't remember sleepless nights as a child. I mean, now and then I'd have to wake up in the middle of the night, and it's windy outside, and every house that my family has been in. It's always got lots of trees. And so sometimes I would see the shadows and it's windy and I need to go to the bathroom like at 3 a.m. and then I'd come back. But other than that, I would sleep right through the night.
Right.
You as a child?
Mostly okay, but there would be sometimes I'd struggle. I remember like being alone and feeling very lonely. And we weren't the kids who used to just cry, like, Mom, I'm bored. Like you had to sort yourself out. And because also there was a pesky relative who had messed with me as a child sexually. Do you understand? And I think that affected my sleep. So I didn't sleep great at night necessarily because I'm just expecting.
PTSD.
Yeah, just not able to sleep properly. The teen years were good, thank God, because I slept a lot. Teenagers can sleep, eh?
Oh, no. Come on.
Teenagers.
Oh.
They can sleep.
No, I mean, I used to, like my mother would sometimes lose it. It's 2 o'clock. You're still sleeping in bed. I'm like,
Right.
What?
I had nothing to do. And our parents hated that because they want you to be always busy. And
To
it's
be
not all
busy.
to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then college, there's so much going on in college.
Of course, yeah.
For people who... I really, for kids who are wondering whether they should go to college, university, tertiary, whatever, like an institution outside of your home where you get to be with your colleagues and peers, I highly encourage it. I really, really do, because it was some of the best experiences of my life.
And it doesn't matter what it is that you want to do with your life. It really doesn't. You could know for a fact that you are in the top 1% of 200-meter runners in the country, and therefore you will probably make a living from running, and you are the... But go to university, man. Go somewhere. Go
If you
somewhere.
can,
If you can,
please do.
if you can, if there's someone that can afford it, if you can find help,
Yeah.
if NSFAS can help you, go to
Yeah.
university.
And
highly
even those
recommend it,
TVET
yeah.
colleges right
Yeah,
now are so important
it's
because
so
you learn
important,
a very
yeah.
particular skill. So college isn't like university, was busy. So I didn't notice it as much. That maybe I have insomnia, you're just up doing all sorts of things and staying up late. And then I think in my 30s is when it really started becoming a problem. It takes longer to fall asleep. And I'm two things. It takes me a while to fall asleep, and then it's difficult for me to stay asleep. Typically, most people are one or the other.
When you and I met, we were sort of in our mid-30s, mid-30s, late, yeah, but mid to late, yeah, the 30s, right? And I remember so clearly every morning, because you and I used to do the breakfast show at Kai FM, right, GMG. And I used to think, it's the weirdest question. This woman every single morning asked me the same question. How did you sleep? what are you
Because
talking about?
every night is different, and like this week has been bad for me. So
Yeah.
the last 2 days is like, and I wake up groggy. I don't want to work out. I'm in a nar mood, because I just feel incapacitated, and I feel angry. I feel frustrated, and I just wish I had a switch and be able to fall asleep.
For me, when I became, and hey, we've got to acknowledge this. You and I, our generation generally, hey, we became adults a bit too early. Because I honestly, like really, by the time I was 17, I was an adult. Like I was making my own decisions by the time I was 17, right? Because I remember 17, like January, I turned 17 and then started university and then I've just been, So when I should have started being sleepless or experiencing insomnia, do you know what happened in my life? And I've shared with this on this particular platform, is it coincided with an increase, a ramp up in my alcohol consumption. And I've shared the fact that, for 39 years, I've just been a drinker and I've recently quit, right? And for 39 years, I really thought I did not have sleep problems. Why? Because I was always medicated. Before I slept, it was a double or this or that or a glass or 6 of wine or something. And sobriety has made me realize I cannot take sleep for granted. I do not take sleep for granted anymore.
Right.
To the point where for the first time, only in my 50s, did I actually ever experience my first sleeping pill. I had never taken a sleeping pill in my life. And I used to be like, sleep comes easily. No, I was drunk. I had a bit of a buzz. Yeah. But sleep is a thing, man.
It's a thing, and it's important. See, it's like a time for your brain to rewire, right? And it can have this detrimental effects of not clearly as a sign of like not slept.
Clearly scientifically medically defined repercussions of not sleeping and sleeping well.
Right.
Because when you are sleeping, this is the time for your body to do tissue repair.
Yes.
It's the time for your neurochemistry to rebalance, realign itself. It's important. It's not one of those things. I hear so many people and I look at them because I think I used to be those people who say, no, I can go with 2-3 hours of sleep. No, you can't. Not really.
Yeah.
And I know that 8 hours is an average. And an average basically, takes a whole lot of a sample size.
Right.
And there are people who really can function very well with like 6 hours of sleep. But there are people who actually need 10 hours of sleep. And 8 hours is kind of where we all kind of meet, right? But you need that time to sleep. And because I'll tell you this, and I wrote a column about this just this past Sunday, where I wrote about the fact that whatever sleep or rest that you cheat your body and your mind of, pretty soon, it will take it. Oh, no, your body will take that rest.
Right.
And it won't be the time that you think is convenient.
Right. It'll take it when it needs it.
The number of times, Kgomotso, that I have fallen asleep driving is scary. It's scary where you are just like, and I'm driving. And with me, almost every single time, whenever I have slept at the wheel because I was driving and I didn't have enough rest and I did not have enough sleep, do you know what happened with the brain?
What?
The brain plays a trick on me. I start dreaming that I'm driving. I fall asleep and I dream that I am driving. So the sound of but I'm fast asleep. And I remember this
Do you know how scary that is?
It is the scariest thing. I remember driving and people are hooting. So clearly I'm just drifting because I'm fast asleep. And in my dream, I'm like, why are people hooting at me? Because then I wake up and I realize I'm about to go down a gorge because I was driving on the N3 between Durban and Joburg. You know, back in our young days, in our 20s and 30s, when we thought you can drive from Durban to Joburg on 2 hours of sleep.
Right.
Yeah, it was one of those. Sleep is, and for your mental health, sleep is everything. It's
And emotional.
and emotional. Yeah.
And emotional help as well.
But also, one of the things that I've realized about me and not getting enough sleep, oh my God, my brain to mouth filters, they malfunction. You know, I will say things where I'm like, after I've said it, I'm like, oh, I can't believe I just said that.
I'm
Because
very slow.
Yeah.
I feel dumb. Because
Yeah.
you'll be like, I'm trying to talk, but words won't come out. You understand? It's like I just become much, much slower.
What do you do to help yourself sleep?
I'm taking sleeping tablets.
But with other
And
than that,
sometimes they don't work. So I just try to manage
how long?
it.
Because how? I mean, I'm not wanting to go so deep into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, how long have you been taking sleeping tablets?
The sleeping tablets has been 5 years now. Yeah, because doctors are also very reticent to give you sleeping tablets.
I know.
And it worries me because it's like, I have a problem. Do you understand? And this
Yeah.
is what solves it. So I don't see why.
For me, it's a very recent thing, and it was a very interesting, conversation, by the way, that I had recently about sleep with my therapist, and it's like sleep therapy is a very important thing,
Right.
And I said, what's sleep therapy? And it's like, sleep therapy is what, sleep hygiene, sorry. Sleep hygiene.
Yes.
Says, it's important that before you sleep, you have a ritual. You do exactly the same things.
Right.
And it's the obvious things. No screens.
Which is so hard.
It's like no.
Which is so hard.
Like no screen, right?
Because I also need white noise.
Yeah.
So I need the TV to sleep. It's almost like having somebody talking to me.
Really?
I have to have somebody, a sound. I can't sleep otherwise.
Do you know what I need?
Yeah, silence.
Absolutely. Like it has
Oh
to
my
be
God.
silent.
Really?
Like, and it's got to be dark. Like I cannot
That I
see.
agree with.
I cannot
don't want to see a slither of a light.
I'm
I'm like that.
Which is why, and it's like the weirdest thing. Some of the best sleep I've had in my life has been in hotel rooms because of the what do you call it? The because of the thick carpet. Yeah, and
Curtains.
Curtains, the thick. In hotels.
The Oscar Pistorius curtains.
Yes.
Those that keep the light out.
Keep
completely.
the light completely out. It has to be absolutely dark. And, my wife is exactly the same way. So bad that she sleeps with those eye patches.
Right.
Because any little light disturbs her.
So around when it starts getting light, especially now that it's getting to be spring.
Yes.
So I sleep best in winter.
Yeah.
When it's cold.
Yes.
I love being toasty, and because it's dark for longer.
Yes.
For some reason, my sleep expands.
Yes.
So because as soon as the light comes up,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if I slept an hour before. I'm up.
Yeah, then
Like this morning, just kind of oh, great, okay.
Do you know what you need to give me?
What?
For me to fall asleep like a log? Rain. Oh, the sound of rain.
Rain is beautiful.
My grandmother, like her first house when I was born, was like corrugated iron roofing,
And those were loud.
Oh my goodness! And so I've tried that, like sleeping with my pods on, and I go on Spotify and I look and I just go rain on a tin roof, and I just hear this. And then I'm like, okay, this is sleep. But part of sleep hygiene, which I am going to try so badly because I'm not a bath person. I'm a shower person. I hate baths. I actually even think that they are completely unhygienic. Like I really, they give me the creeps. But she said to me, you know what? try just soaking in water. Put bath salts and sit there. So I'm going to try because sleep is such an important conversation to have.
Yeah.
And you and I are not alone in having this conversation.
No,
and you and I
completely.
are actually going to get a sleep expert
Yeah.
to help us navigate through all of the steps, REM, exactly what it is that you can do. Because sometimes, when I'm struggling to sleep and I try chamomile tea, it works sometimes it doesn't.
I'll tell you what sometimes works, or like what I used to supplement the tablets when they're not working, is melatonin.
Okay.
I usually have a friend bring it to me from the States.
Okay.
Because it's just available at higher concentrations. Melatonin is the hormone that allows for you to sleep properly, essentially. So if you're not sleeping, you're not producing enough melatonin. So those melatonin tabs can help. And also good old MJ, marijuana. Marijuana works, man. I don't know what to tell. It's intango iyathusa ukulala. That's all I can say. It really helps.
You know what else I have found in my life?
What?
Sometimes I've found this out with very embarrassingly. A good old orgasm, man.
Said like a man. Okay, you don't have to demonstrate. Jesus. What the fuck?
But the reason I'm also saying this is lack of sleep. I have had the embarrassment of having people whose names shall not be named who have had to say, "Baby, wake up." after the
deed.
After the deed.
Wow.
Because it's like,
oh, that is so obscene. Yuck. Shame on you. But anyway, so from sleep to toys. Yeah? Toys as children, because we were raised, I suppose, at the time we were middle class because our parents were professionals,
teacher and a nurse.
Yeah. But were you the kind of family, and you had a lot of brothers, so were there a lot of toys around you? What was the toy situation in your house?
Now that I think about it, it's so weird as children what you remember and what you. For the longest time in my head, I've just been thinking when I was a child, I really didn't have all that many toys. But since we decided we're actually going to have a conversation about it, I've been thinking about it. Hey, Rosemary Ngcobo, my mother used to buy us toys. Now that I think about it, it all depended on her budget, obviously. Christmas time, we definitely always used to have new toys. That woman made sure that we had to. Every Christmas we had toys.
Right.
And in between, we would have toys. So I realized that my memory of my childhood is always about, I didn't really have enough toys. And the only reason is because I had 3 brothers that I was growing up. So a lot of the toys I had to share.
Right.
And that is the thing that really gave me that whole thing. That where I was like, I remember this friend of mine, Usabelo, only child. He had all the toys.
Right.
Oh, Sabelo had all the toys. Like literally every Saturday, his mom would just come back from like shopping and from game. Like she used to shop in Marisbeck at game. And if it's not a new ball, it's a new this, and it's it's roller skates. It's a skateboard. He had all of it. At some point, he had like 3 bicycles.
Right.
And, at home, bicycle was one of those things.
But do you remember a favorite toy? I mean, you had a lot of toys, but wasn't there one that you were like attached to?
The one toy that I remember that I enjoyed so much, Kgomotso, do you remember the Viewmaster?
I do. I do.
My mother bought me a Viewmaster. And if you are to 2K or
Google it.
Google it.
Google it.
It really was just like a still movie
Right.
of sorts, and it had slides, and it had a funny shape, and you would put in this slide, and it would very often be like a fairy tale or a story, or sometimes just random pictures of like, I don't know, hot air balloons or whatever it was, or picturesque, or and you.
First of all, I actually had, not from then. I purchased it like 6 years ago, but I actually have a Viewmaster.
A Viewmaster.
Yeah, at a second-hand shop.
They're still in.
Not in production, but so it's like it's from that era.
Memory. Also, you actually bought it like you.
Yes, it was at a second-hand shop.
Oh my!
And it's actually a Viewmaster because I couldn't resist. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta have this.
Any
absolutely have this.
slides?
No slides though.
If you have any Viewmaster slides.
But what am I going to do with the slides? Watch it?
No, but I would love to actually.
Would you?
I would actually sit and
I also
watch.
had one as a child, but I
Viewmaster,
broke
yeah.
it because I
Yeah.
wanted to see what was inside. Yeah,
Do you
that's
know?
how it ended.
But also, do you know why I loved my Viewmaster so much? Because I could make money from it. Because, like you said, we were kind of, sort of middle class. And so out of a school of 1,500 kids, how many kids do you reckon had Viewmasters?
Right.
And I remember I was the only one that had a Viewmaster.
Right.
And so break time, I was coining it. 5 cents a slide. 5 cents. No. You've already clicked twice.
Right.
Whatever. So I used to have a whole lot of pocket money when I had a Viewmaster, which and my father used to hate that. Used to hate us making money off other kids because they don't have money.
Right.
Because sometimes, we would also charge them to come and watch Steve Austin
The
Demand Fund
TV,
Style.
well, everybody did.
Yeah.
But I would say for me, the first teddy bear that I ever had was called Bogoloshe. I have a picture that I want to show. That's Bogoloshe. I still have Bogoloshe today. Maybe I've got hoarding tendencies. Ne?
Bogoloshe yeni bere.
La. Exactly. It was a cartoon character and it was a bear called Bogoloshe. And I loved Bogoloshe. So my mother went to a second-hand whatever and got me Bogoloshe. Bogoloshe has been through the most. Bogoloshe doesn't have an ear, doesn't have an eye, has been sewn over. And I just...
You shared that picture. It's so... I looked at it and I thought, this is a great thing to have as an adult.
I've had Bogoloshe since I was like 6 or 7 years old. So I love Bogoloshe and I can't throw Bogoloshe away.
Yeah.
Bogoloshe keeps coming with me wherever I go. And then other than Bogoloshe, my brother got a racing car set.
Ooh.
I was so jealous because it was considered a boy's thing and I probably got a doll or whatever, but I don't remember. My dad got my brother this racing cassette and I was extremely jealous.
When I was, and I remember, I couldn't even tell you the year that I got my brother and I remember mine was yellow, his was red.
Right.
And so
you'd race.
Yeah, we'd actually race. And I remember my mother also buying us like an electric train. Oh my goodness! For hours, you could sit and play with the thing for hours. Eh?
Do you know what's funny? Is that when we first had this conversation, you gave me a completely different picture.
Of what?
Of the toys.
Because I've been thinking about it. But I did tell you about the remote
Viewmaster
control
in the car.
and the Viewmaster and the train set. She actually also bought us a train set to play with. But also, I also remember that we were also part of the very first kids in the late 70s to actually get yo-yos. You remember when the Coca-Cola company had yo-yos?
Absolutely.
You had a red one, Coca-Cola, an orange one, Fanta.
A green one, Sprite.
A green one, Sprite. And I remember I had the Fanta one and we had the red one. So I've always liked sort of yellow, orange, and he always liked red. So much so that I remember that I got one of the Coca-Cola reps, actually took my brother and I, and we were like yo-yo demonstrators in shopping centers. There was a shopping complex.
That's awesome. So you've always been a performer of some sorts. But I also got a... which one should I tell you about? Let's see what I can squeeze in.
Yeah.
My father, right? My parents were divorced, right? Didn't come to visit that often. This one time he comes to visit, and my mother wouldn't buy me roller skates. And he came, and my mother wasn't there. So I took the opportunity and I said, let's go get them. You could get them, go Duba. So he takes me with his car.
And of course, your mother, what's the reason your mother didn't want you
She
to?
said she didn't want me to break my bones. You'll hurt yourself. I'm like, the other children are there. Why can't I get roller skates? And then she was just like, no, you're going to hurt yourself.
But I interrupted your story.
Right.
So your father came
So
here.
I took advantage of this one. Like, this man doesn't come here very often, and I want roller skates so bad because every other kid has them. We came back with the roller skates. Was furious.
Yeah.
She was furious. And now I gotta bear the brunt of like, he doesn't pay papgeld. He doesn't buy groceries. Why is he buying useless things like roller skates? Wang, 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 wang. And I didn't care because I had my roller skates. I fit in. I was you. And we had a concrete driveway. So it was very easy. It was like cement.
Yeah.
To like skate
Skate,
up and down. It was
up
a
and
little
down.
bit of an incline.
Incline.
Oh, it was fantastic.
And this, I don't have the money, but I can put down 10,000 rand.
Yeah.
That you didn't have the elbow.
Of course not.
Or the knee.
I didn't even know they were available. Or the knee pads, or like, no, there was nothing. And my mother just said, if you break anything, I don't want to hear about it.
And no helmet.
What helmet?
And that's one of the things that, sometimes I realize that I've become like I'm becoming a fuddy daddy because I'm starting to remember back in the day when like children used to just always walk around with like casts, like because they broke bones and whatever. Because how we are raising our children nowadays, I remember buying for Vumizita a tricycle, and we had to buy a helmet for him. I'm like, why do you need a
On a tricycle?
No one had a helmet when we were riding
On
bicycles.
a tricycle?
On a tricycle helmet, yeah. What are you going to do to yourself on a tricycle?
Wow.
Of course, he used to fall, but you're not going to hurt your head like on a tricycle. But do you know? Can I also say this? One thing that I loved about my childhood, is that in those months in between when you'd have your toys bought for Christmas, inevitably by January you've broken it.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And maybe the next time you get a new toy is going to be maybe, say, I don't know, like by April or whatever it is. In between, we were so creative with making our own toys. Do you remember the game we used to play where you would take like a plastic guava juice bottle and then you would find 2 sticks, put the sticks in the guava juice bottle, and then have a tire and you put water in there, and then you just... Oh man, there were like July holidays that I spent like the entire time, whatever it was, whether it was 4 or 5 weeks, and that's all I played that particular July because it was so much fun just pushing this tire. I actually have footage of one time I was dropping off a friend in a township in Vryheid called Mondlo.
Right.
And I actually saw a kid now in like 2022 or whatever, and they were playing around with a tire. And I was like, wow, kids still play with
that game.
Wire cars.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted one so bad. Oh man, when the boys were riding their wire cars there, I wanted one so bad.
I could make a really nice one.
Wait, really?
No, I was really good at those. Like, I'd go around looking for wires.
Right.
And then you straighten them and then you make, and then you have this rubber band that you put so that it acts as like, I don't know, like some kind of steering. But if you turn right, if you do right, it goes. If you turn left, it goes right. If you go this way, it goes that way. And that was also one of my favorite toys that we just like. You just made.
What
it
did you
yourself.
use for the wheels?
For the wheels, kiwi polish.
Really?
Yeah, we'd like
because
take-
in my hood, kuSoweto nebaberekisa, snuff.
Oh, snuff.
Yes,
oh, yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
snuff itosi.
Back home, that only came sort of when my younger brother was 9 years younger than me.
Right.
Like almost like in the 90s when I wasn't playing with cars. But back then it used to be like polish, polish the
Yeah.
And so you would just put
Right.
it together and then make a hole.
Right.
And those used to be your wheels.
Yeah, children today don't know what it was different, but it's what it is, right? Times changed, and for us, it was so different in the sense that we had to be really creative.
Yeah.
Toys were not falling on trees, like
No, they weren't.
like the way that they are now. And I suppose there wasn't that China element where there's like a lot of like cheap, nasty kind of like
Sure.
product.
Yeah,
that was
no,
available,
nowadays
you know?
toys are just
They're so cheap.
They're so cheap. Like you're now reminding me of the fact that we could spend an entire day with just go to the shop, find cupboards,
Yeah.
and then open them up and just find an embankment with grass,
Yeah.
and just slide down the embankment, and we could do this the whole day.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
not anymore. And what about jobs? What was your first job? Do you remember? How old were you, first of all?
I was 13 years old. My father decided that I was 13, and anyone who was now 13 deserved to know the feeling of work, particularly because he didn't. He felt that we were not so handy around. Look at these hands. I mean, I've always said.
I believe the term is cheese boy.
I mean, these hands. I mean, I've always said that my relationship with manual labor has always been at a supervisory level.
You were laughing at me when I told you I don't clean.
So, but anyway, my father goes to the manager at the OK Bazaars on Hill Street in Pinetown and says, "I've got two boys. One is 13, one is 14, my elder brother. And can you please give them a job? Packing, till packing, and driving, and also taking the trolleys." So I was a trolley guard.
Wow.
A trolley guard and a packer at OK Bazaars.
Wow.
I hated the job.
Right.
I hated every second that I was doing it. So you'd be sitting there, you packing, and Abo Mrs. there from Kloof and whatever, and Hillcrest would be like, "This boy, he packed the milk on top of the eggs." Because, I didn't have a
Right.
good enough sense,
Right.
to know. No one had taught me the job.
Right.
There was just, here, plastics, you pack. So I was a till packer.
Wow.
And also taking the trolley. And sometimes you'd go and the woman is parked like on the other end of the parking. Meanwhile, your till operator wants you back because it's like,
Right.
where
You gotta
is the
pack
guy?
for the other-
But I have to take this trolley
Right.
over there. And you're expecting 10 cents in your
Hey.
And she's like, "No, you didn't go to do a good enough
Right,
job." And I
right.
come back with
Hey,
nothing.
man, white people have a lot to account for. But anyway,
And your first?
so my first job, I was about 6 years old.
Yeah.
I had just now started. My parents had just gotten divorced, and so I'm living with my mom, and it's just the two of us. And she's
6?
yeah, 6.
Child labor.
Basically, I've been working since I was 6, exactly. So she saw
Okay, what was the job?
she saw an ad in the Sowetan for a children's modeling agency, and it was called Puppets, run by a woman called Thea Wallner.
Okay.
Althea Wallner, yeah.
Yeah.
And so Thea took me on, and I got to be on some ads as a child.
And this is how they started.
It was inevitable. So I was in an ad for Vision Hire. Remember Vision Hire?
Vision higher.
I was in an ad for Nestle condensed milk. Really? And then I was in a drama series called Kgomotso, which showed on SABC, which I've tried finding this footage. If you work at Nestle in the commercial section, please get in touch with me because I'd love to see that ad. It was done something like 1980, 81, somewhere around there. In fact, the day that we shot the Nestle ad is the day that it snowed in Johannesburg.
In 1981?
Yes. It was exactly the same
so
day.
You even know the date.
Yes.
So why is it so difficult to? Oh well, that's when it was shot, right?
That's when it was shot. Never mind aired and all that. So you need someone at Nestle who wants to help you, quite frankly, and I didn't find one.
You know what would amaze you about, and this is one of the most beautiful things about the internet, is that someone is watching who has got an old VHS because they were probably recording dialers. Because can you believe I still have VHS recordings of stuff from like 1980 odd?
Okay.
And so on. You'd be amazed how many people. So if you have been watching something from 1981, the chances that during prime time that Nestle condensed milk ad.
But you would think that the Nestle Corporation in their archives.
Yeah,
surely.
also.
Do you understand? I thought, go to the corporate. I was like, is this? I tried 1 year and then I just kind of stopped.
And this is the thing. There's something to be said about institutional memory as well. Because does anyone even remember who the ad agency was? Because you would probably get much better joy
traction from the ad agency
if you were to just go and say, who was the ad agency at the time?
Yeah. I'll keep trying. So
I
anyway,
think this is also one of the most frustrating things about South Africa as a society. You know, you would think that someone now has got a TikTok channel or YouTube channel of old ads.
You would think.
This is something. There's an idea. All right.
Anyway, we'll be looking about it. Anyway, on that note, Mapoloba, we've got our live gigs, Spotify live sessions.
Yes.
On October
the 25th.
October 25th at 1:30, Victoria Yards.
Yeah.
Where we're going to be having our own family meeting.
150 Rand at Quicket for the
150 Rands at Quicket for early birds and 200 Rands at the door.
Yeah.
So we really hope to see you there because we want you to be our guest.
And like we said at the top of the hour, we are going to be having the family meeting.
Yes.
An extended version of the family meeting where you
Yes.
get to interact with us. We did explain exactly what the family meeting is at the beginning of the show for those of you who are new,
who are latecomers,
latecomers to
but
the
welcome nevertheless.
to the Uncaptured.
Right.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see you there.
We really look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah. Until next time. Goodbye.
Ta-ta.